Hello, I am Carlos. I'm a CSM with Software One. Today, I'm going to show you how to transform API data into an Excel table. For this demo, we will be using orders as an example to demonstrate how APIs can be used to report or extract information from Marketplace across different objects, such as users, buyers, licensees, etc. Our first step is to create a token to allow access to the different objects in Marketplace. On your client portal, go to the Home menu, then click Settings, click API Tokens, then click the Add button. Here we can create a new token. I will just go ahead and create the token under my name and select all the modules that I will get access to, including Marketplace. Then a quick overview will be provided in the screen, and then a summary. Here you can go ahead and copy the API token to your clipboard. By clicking on this double square icon, we can just copy our API token to our clipboard. Remember to keep your API token in a safe place. Now I'm going to show you an instance of the data that I'd like to export from Marketplace to Excel. Now, in this case, I'd like to obtain data for orders. So I'm going to go to Home. I'm going to click on Marketplace and then click Orders. Here's the list of orders that I'd like to export to an Excel sheet. As you can see in this list, there's around 1,000 rows. That means that we have around 1,000 orders with different statuses that can be exported to an Excel sheet. Since we don't want a long list of records to start off with, the RQL URL code that we will be copying will allow us to only get 10 records at the beginning, so we can start configuring our information, and once we're fine with the information, we can add more records to it, as many as we consider necessary. In order to obtain assistance on how to create an RQL URL to generate a list of orders, I recommend you to access our Software One Marketplace platform documentation. The link will be added in the comments below. Now, in order to find that information, I will quickly look for REST API. Then here in REST API, I will go to Commerce API to find orders. Click Orders, and then I will select List Orders. In this page, we will find the baseline to start configuring our RQL URL. And here it is. I'm going to highlight this information, and then I'm going to copy it to Excel. Now let's open a new Excel workbook. Before I do that, I'd like to highlight that since I'm using a staging account, my URL differs slightly. Please use the RQL URL as it is shown in our Marketplace platform documentation. Now let's go to Data. Here, let's click Get Data and select from Other Sources, and then click From Web. A new window will be appearing to request some information that needs to be filled in. In this case, we have two options, one for basic URL and another one for advanced. We need to select advanced, and here under advanced, we need to start adding our URL information. Okay, let me paste the data. Okay, as you can see, this is only the baseline to obtain a list of only 10 orders, and then we can start playing around with them. Now, here and this line that says HTTP request header parameters optional, we need to type in authorization, and next to it the word bearer space, and then we need to add our API token next to it. In case you don't remember how to obtain your API token, Let me quickly go through it and copy the API token in order to paste it in Excel. So let's go to Home and Settings, API Tokens. I'm gonna select my token and then I'm gonna click this icon in order to copy this token to my clipboard. Okay, and let's quickly go back to the Excel workbook. Now I'm gonna go ahead and paste my API token next to Vitter, making sure that I'm leaving a space in between. Okay, so here it is. Now we can just go ahead and click the OK button. If all the information has been entered correctly on a previous box, a new Power Query Editor window will appear on the screen. We'll have two options. One says metadata and the other one is for data. We're going to choose the one for data and click here on list. Here we can make sure that we have 10 records as the default limit value, and then we can keep adding more and more records as we configure our table. So in this case, I'm gonna just go ahead and click convert to table. Um, we don't need to do anything here on this window, so we just need to click OK. On the next screen, we'll find a list of records, and now there's a new icon. And this new icon, it's an expandable icon, so we can choose which columns we would like to be adding to our table. I will click on the icon and unselect everything, only to choose the columns that I'm interested in. In this case, and for the sake of this exercise, I will be adding ID, type, status, maybe licensee, product, and price. So I'll click on OK. Okay, now I have more columns added to my table, but I'd like to view more information about those orders. In this case, I have this order ID and maybe the type, but some of this information is not displayed yet. So that's because it is on a level below. So we need to go to that level to show the information that we require. Some of these icons here are only a drop-down menu, but in this case, as you remember, there's an expandable icon here. These two arrows facing away to each other, so that means that we have something else on that level. So I'm gonna click here and I'm going to unselect. In this case, let's suppose that I'm interested only in the sales price per year and currency. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click here. Okay. Now let's jump to the next column and do the same for product. So I'm gonna display this menu and select only the product name. And let's do the same thing for the last column. And in this case, I will choose contact, and it keeps saying record. So what has just happened here is that there's another level below. So I'm gonna click again here on this icon, and I want to choose first name and email address, and they will be added as two more columns to our table. So we have ID, type, status, price, product name, the contact first name, and email address. And well, our table is almost done. However, in case we made a mistake or if we need to change something in our table, we can always go back by clicking on one of these steps on the right hand panel and go back one step at a time. Let's say that I didn't want to add um, the last column, so I'm gonna click that one off. And as you can see, it has just disappeared and is shown now as a record again. And well, that's just an example. I can just fix it by going again to first name, email, and there you go. Now we can simply click in this icon that says close and load to show our final data. Now our table has been created. We have all our data together for column ID, type, status, price, currency, and the rest of the data that we have added to our new table. And in case you're wondering what would happen if this data or if the data is updated or more orders have been added to marketplace, if you should change anything to your query or do something else to your configuration, then I have good news for you. You don't have to do anything else to your query. You only need to go to data and click the refresh all button in order to pull every new data that has been added to your marketplace. Now, in case you do need to modify the setup of your table or change any of the columns here, you'll only need to go to this column on the right hand side and hover over it and click edit. And this way you can go back to your Power Query editor and do the changes that you require and do the same steps that I just mentioned before, like removing these steps one by one or expand to add or remove items to your actual table. Also, in case you have removed this column on the right hand side and you don't know how to access to it again, it's very easy. You only need to go to data and click on the queries and connections button in order to get it back and keep configuring your current table. And also, in case you need to change the data source or the actual query, you can always go back as well from the Power Query Editor screen by going to Home, Data Source Settings, then click Change Source. And here you can modify your RQL URL information. Okay, so let's say that we're happy with the information that we have in our new table. All the columns are fine and all the information provided is okay, but we'd like to add more records to it. So in this case, I can go to the data source, change source, and I'm going to add a question mark here and type in the word limit in order to set the limit larger than the default one for 10 records. So limit equals, let's say 100 records. So we have set the limit to 100 records. Now let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna close this one out and click refresh to pull the rest of the records to our screen. Okay, now we have 100 records added to our new table. Let's close and load. And finally, our new table has been completed and now it contains 100 records. And that's it for now. I hope you have enjoyed this video. In case you have any further questions, please reach out to your account team. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more useful content. I wish you a great day.